because we're out of sync with that law. Now, brothers and sisters, the other day, you know, this setup that I explained to you, beloved brothers and sisters, we're falling for it hook, line, and sinker. The other day, they put on a documentary about so-called yardies. How many of you saw that, I wonder? World in Action. And they talked about these yardies, and the imagery throughout the documentary was of this self-loading rifle or AK-47 in the hands of a black man being fired. Various pistols, automatic and otherwise, being tucked into the waistband, and gunshot noises going off all the time throughout the documentary. The documentary specifically was about a brother by the name of Eaton Green. Some of you are familiar with this, right? Eaton Green. And this person, they say, is a yardie. And this person, they say, was brought over to this country by the Metropolitan Police. I want you to hear me well. I'm telling you, black man, you're getting set up right now. He was brought into this country by the Metropolitan Police. And the purpose of them bringing him over here was to infiltrate the so-called yardie gangs. And this brother was going around committing robberies of black people, shooting up black people, and doing all kinds of madness at the behest of Scotland Yard. With Scotland Yard's backing. With Scotland Yard sanctioning. Scotland Yard allowed this brother to bring in two more brothers from Jamaica who they knew were supposed to be multiple killers. Scotland Yard. And let them loose in the black community. Oh, brothers and sisters, if only you really knew what was going on. I come to talk to you tonight, brothers in particular, about black on black crime. Who benefits and what's the solution? Brothers and sisters, you know, it was, I think, around the 16th of November, 1995, outside this place, that a brother by the name of Ralph Daly was shot 4 times, according to what I've been told. He was shot outside this building by persons unknown, or to the best of my knowledge, somebody has now been picked up for this. Brothers and sisters, on the 8th of December, a little while after that, Brother Carl Marsden, a.k.a. Briggy C, was shot, again they say, 4 times in the back of the head while he sat in his car near Vassal Road, where I used to live in Ashton House, those flats. And it looks to me like the person who killed the brother knew the brother. And the brother may have even trusted that person as a friend, because he had his back to him and he was in the car with him. On the 24th of December 1995, a brother by the name of Carl Spencer was shot in the back in Birmingham. Next, on the 27th of December 1995, Trevor Lee Hamilton was shot in the stomach. Then in the early hours of the 30th of December 1995, Raymond Pitt was shot in the head in Manchester. This is all just in the little run-up to the so-called Christmas holidays. Then, to get us neatly into the new year, on the 1st of January 1996, Evron Berry was shot in the head in Bristol. Another brother was shot at the same time, but he lived. There's a book out, and I don't think that maybe too many of you would be familiar with the book, because one of the ways that they mock us today is they say that black people don't read. The white man, during slavery, was so gleeful and so mocking, he said that if you want to hide, this was in the Congress of the United States government, they said, if you want to hide something from the black man, put it in a book. Because you and I don't read. So, there's a book out, and it's called Gangland Britain by Tony Thompson, and it says, Inside Britain's Most Dangerous Gangs. And chapter 2 is called Big Me Up. Big Me Up. And they say in this book, brothers, sisters, that the yardies have got a rhyme. This is what they say, that we rhyme. And we rhyme, the cops don't hang, the law don't hang, lock them up, not long. This is now they're saying what we say in this country, that the cops don't bang, in other words, they don't carry weapons, they don't shoot. The law don't hang, in other words, you can't get the death penalty in this country. And you don't lock them up for long. This is supposed to be a rhyme among the yardies. So that's why they're saying we come here to do what we want to do here, because it's safer to do it here. Not in America and not in some of these other places, because the cops bang, the cops hang, and them lock you up for long. Well, I will invite you to go down to your local Brixton prison sometime. Go and check out Wormwood Scrubs sometime. Go down to the Isle of Wight, Parkhurst, and these prisons sometime. And when you go there, you ask those brothers in there about not getting no long time. You ask those brothers in there about the cops don't bang. You ask them. You go and ask my friend Brian Beckford, which some of you know, who the police shot something like 6 times. Bullets passing all through his body. And he's alive today in the prison, doing something like 8 years. This is the reality of this no bang, no hang policeman, that they're now trying to trick you. I'm talking about somebody who's trying to set you up, telling you that it's a nice place here to commit crime because it's not as bad as certain other places. Now, they say in the book that since 1986, there's been at least 57 Yardie-linked murders. That's not counting woundings, rapes, stabbings, and other types of injuries that have been inflicted, but they're saying there's been at least 57 murders attributed to these so-called Yardies. Brothers, I want you to understand something. There was a time when Railton Road was the place, they said, where all the business of the drugs and everything was going on. And every man was out there. And I used to go down there sometimes. I used to walk. And you know, I used to look at my brothers sometimes. These are friends of mine, people I know. And watch them run up to a white man in a car talking about sensi. And I'm saying to myself, you don't even know who you're running up to. You get so crazy that we're just out there now making noise, selling this foolishness, talking about sensi, and there ain't no sense in it. But then they move in after a while and they mash up the runnings there and they clean out people. And then something springs up on Landau Road, Clapham. And you know, I see some of the brothers sometimes on the corners, and I know that in the brothers, they really think they're powerful. Hear me well, brothers. I know the brothers really, well, we'll trick them boy, I don't know, we have a new place. Have a new bookie. Or a new cab office. Are we this? Are we run this now? Hey, you see this? Mash up the place. We really believe that we've done something marvelous in moving from one place to the next place. Do you know, brothers and sisters, how we are considered by the powers that be? Do you know that the police and the government and the authorities consider you, black man, we, us, as dust? Did you hear what I said? Dust. I'll mash up the mic now, you know. Tap it again. That's okay. One of the brothers will sort it out. Dust. Do you know what dust is? Dust is a particle of matter that doesn't matter. Has no use or function. dust is a nuisance. Dust comes on your jacket. You dust it off. It's gone. Later on you look, oh, check that, I'm chose this. Railton Road, Landor Road. You're thinking that you're causing some kind of major kind of disturbance. No, dust, as far as the white man is concerned. Moving from one place to another. Not appreciating or realizing that we ain't saying nothing, we ain't doing nothing. We're just being moved around like dust. Brothers, please listen, brothers. You know, this book is a serious book. The book blames the Yardis for the display of armaments or guns now. They're blaming black gangs or black gangsters as being the people who have now instigated all of the gun crime in the country. They're saying that because you, so-called Yardis, black people, are carrying guns, you've now forced the white criminals to carry guns. You've now forced the black indigenous or homegrown blacks, the British blacks. There's some people who go by that, to carry guns. Not only have you forced them to do that, but you've now forced, this is what the book is saying, you've now forced the Metropolitan Police and all the other police forces now to deploy more quick response vehicles. You've now caused the officers now to go standard beat officers with bulletproof jackets. You've now, this is what they're saying, black people are responsible for. Oh, brothers, we're getting set up. We're getting set up. I want us to really get to this. Beloved, Police Commissioner Paul Condon not only said that 80% of black youth are responsible for 80% of the street crime, but he's also predicted recently that by the year 2000, which is just a little 4 years away, I want you to hear me well, that by the year 2000, the British police force will be a fully armed force. And they will be fully armed as a result of what black people are doing. We are the ones who have caused them now to get armed. This is what they're saying in this book. Brothers and sisters, you gave to the family of Brother Briggy C £431. Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah. Brothers and sisters, that's nothing compared to what we can do, what we should do, and what we must do if we as a people are going to survive into and beyond the 21st century. Brothers and sisters, they're saying now in the book that many of us in the community wear bulletproof vests. I know my brother Vincent for a long time was wearing a bulletproof vest. Yeah, he was. Because he was, you know, on the door of various clubs and doing his security, and he made a lot of enemies, man. And he's a brother who's been, as he said, been through a lot of wars, and he was wearing bulletproof vests for a long time. And one little brother in Moss Side in Manchester, he was wearing a bulletproof vest because he expected to be shot because he's involved in all of this drug foolishness and madness. He's 19 years old. He's got on his bulletproof vest. Some of his enemies drive past, open fire on him, and the bulletproof vest actually saved his life. Brother's feeling good, rides up on his mountain bike, his bicycle. But then his enemies came back a couple of weeks later. And they made sure this time, because they didn't shoot him in the body. They shot him in the head. Because they wanted to make sure. And he had recently, before that, attempted to kill one of them. This is what's happening in the black community right now as you and I speak. Brothers and sisters, they're saying in this book that they want to introduce now US-style witness protection programs. Because what they're saying is that when there's a dance in here and all of us are here in the dance, one of us pulls out a gun, shoots down another one. When the police come, they manage, after most of us have run out the door, they manage to arrest 100. Out of the 100, 90 of us say we were in the toilet. The other 10 said, at the time, officer, I was tying my shoelaces. Nobody is willing to go forward and identify people, black people, who kill other black people in the black community. So what they're saying now is that they're going to introduce a US-style protection situation whereby they will protect and change the identity of those who are willing to give evidence against those gunmen and people in the black community. But what that translates into is total divide and rule. We are getting set up right now, brothers and sisters. You know, brothers and sisters, they're moving to a stage now. Those of us in here who are more mature, I'm talking to like the people who could be my mum or could be my dad. You know, it's getting to a stage now where you, elderly brothers and sisters, you are so traumatized now and so worried about what we, the young ones, are doing, that you're now getting ready in the passageway when we're out to call the police. We can't blame you because you're so concerned and so worried now about your little ones, about what you see, that you're now calling the police now to say, what, come take him where? Because him don't resemble what come out of my womb. Divide and rule. We're getting set up. The elder people are so concerned, they're so worried about what they see going on because they've never seen a generation like this who are willing to gun down other black people. Not just the young, but the elderly as well. Disrespect our elders. They not only would rob the young brother, they rob the old sister. They would abuse her to her face, slap her down in the street. And so now you have those who are concerned, the elders in the black community, who are ready now to call police on the young. And when the police are called on the young by the elders, the police are now justified in killing the young. Divide and rule. It is a well thought out plan, and it's in full effect as we speak. Brothers and sisters, they're saying now, this is all from this book, they're saying now that there are children as young as 13 now, little sisters, who are selling their bodies in London, Nottingham, Manchester, Derby, Leeds, for £5 a time to feed a crack habit. This is what's happening in our black community. Something that we better face up to and realize that this is warning time. This is a state of emergency. And when somebody starts sounding the alarm in the house, you better start taking notice, because warning comes as a mercy before something else comes. Brothers and sisters, you know, because the sisters are doing this type of thing now in terms of the little children selling themselves, and not only sisters, by the way, little brothers as well. Male prostitution in the black community is on the increase. Male prostitution. Young brothers getting turned out, losing their manly nature and turning strange because of pressure to feed a particular habit. They're saying now that because of this fornication and this madness, we're more susceptible to AIDS. You thought that AIDS was something reserved for some strange white people. Let me give it to you straight. The biggest death rate of any people on this planet today suffering from AIDS is black people. Black people. Whole villages in Africa wiped out. Not intravenous drug users, nor are they gay. America running rampant. They say that we are something like 0.1% of the population in this country, surrounded by 57 million Caucasians. And they say that we are 26% of the AIDS population. That's unprecedented. That should make all the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. Because you should ask yourself, how comes? How comes? There's a reason for it. Brothers and sisters. You know, they even mock the artists. This is what they call in the yardies in the book. They call them the epitome. Epitome means the prototype, or the classic example, or the prime one, the epitome of disorganized, organized crime. This is how they refer to your organized crime. Disorganized, organized crime. That's deep. White man's telling you something very deep with those words. He's trying to tell you that you're not in control of what you think you're in control of. Somebody else is in control of it, keeping it out of control, out of your control. They also refer to us today as the black mafia. The black mafia. This is the language now that's been used in identifying black people in the black community. We are yardies and we are mafia. Very deep. Beloved, in the book they say there's no such thing as an old yardie. The average life expectancy is 35 years old. 35 years old. We don't live beyond that time when we play in that game. You're going out. One way or the other. You're not going to make it to old age. It's that I want you to know what we're getting involved in. If we think that this is a game today, we better know what it is that we're playing. Because it ain't football. It ain't cricket. This is a game of life and death. And they know the life expectancy. They say that the average man lives for what? 10? 10. There's a deep science in that as well. A score is 20, right? 3 scores is 60 and 10 makes 70. They can predict the longevity of a human being. Why? Because they know what you're feeding on. They know the life expectancy based on the fact that they control life from the cradle to the grave. But now they're saying that you ain't even got that life expectancy. They're saying 35 max if you make it to 35. Beloved brothers and sisters, please bear with me. You know, we got nicknames in the black community. I never knew, as my sister said, I too knew the brother for many years. I never knew Briggy C. Never heard of it. All I knew was my brother Carl. And like my sister said, the thing that struck me about him a lot of the times when I was with the brother, he was always very clean. He came across that way. He looked clean, you know. And he was very friendly. He was a very kind of beautiful brother, to me at least. I don't know the relationship he had with other people. But we always had a good relationship. But Briggy C is a nickname. I don't know what Briggy means. I know that Brig is another way of saying jail. See? I know that Briggy could be short for brigadier. In other words, like he's like a general on the street. I don't know what it means. Somebody would have to break it down to me. But what I do know is that if you call yourself Tony Tufty Smith, Tufty is a description of something. David Rabbit James. Rabbit is a description of something. Vincent, they call him the Rat. I mean, that's deep, man. Rat. See, rats, you exterminate. A bunny rabbit or a rabbit is an animal. A tufty, I don't know what that is. But they call, when you put nicknames on yourself, you're setting yourself up. Understand that when they say, David, stand upon it hard, Phillips. David stand upon it hard Phillips was today gunned down. The whole world watching the TV said, well, no wonder. Oh yeah. You may not think so, but immediately it conjures up an image. It's like you say Nigel Benn, the Dark Destroyer. You can understand that. Because he's a boxer. He's in there to destroy a man. You ain't making no mistake about that, what that means. Iron Mike Tyson. You know that man, he say, yeah, man, iron. I'm taking a man out. But when you call yourself Tony the Killer, Davis, then when you get killed, nobody's surprised. You set yourself up. Brothers and sisters, you know, when you have a nickname and people know that at large, when the people hear that, when you're introduced to someone, they say, yeah, it's such and such and his nickname, it tells the person your intelligence. It says immediately, this person is not wise. This person don't know the time. Nickname, another word for Nick, is the devil. Old Nick means devil. That's why the police say you're nicked, because it's the devil who's taking you into custody. Very deep. That's why in the nation we don't go with no foolishness. You come in here, you lose all that madness. Nickname, we don't go with that. We don't have no nickname. And I warn you, brothers and sisters, I said it to my brother last night, I think Brother Vincent. Don't refer to your children as kids. They are children. Children. Just because President Clinton talks about the kids, don't you go following that white man. A kid is the offspring of a goat, not a human being. Praise be to Allah. And all of the devil films, don't you see that it's the goat's head? And what you're doing when you label your children thus is that you're demonstrating once again a lack of intelligence. The enemy knows when you speak, when you open your mouth, he weighs you up immediately. Just by what comes out. Just by your name. Just by what you say. Very serious, brothers and sisters. We are involved right now in a massive experiment. We are seeing like sharks in the sea. And somebody is throwing blood and bits of fish in the middle of the sharks and watching them have a feeding frenzy. Watch us tear each other apart based on something that's been put in. Because of a want, a need, a desire in the people. The people want something. The black people are looking for something. Black people are asking questions, but they don't have the answer. And a wickedly wise one is putting the thing that he knows will cause us to go absolutely crazy on one another. Brothers and sisters, you know, the main thing that we're suffering from, my brother who introduced me, Brother Andrew X, we call him the investigator. This brother is a serious brother. And before I go on, I want to introduce you to our minister in West London and the Nation of Islam. Just come and see. I want you to look at this black man. I want you to look at this black man. That's right. Praise be to Allah. That's right. Praise be to Allah. You got to look at that man because there's a reason. Just like the other one. You see how small they are? I follow him. I bow to him. He is a mighty man. And I'm telling you, brothers, we got to get out of this big chest thing. We are so cowardly that as soon as somebody comes with a big chest, we're willing to bow down. What a big it up. We're going on some muscle. But that's not what makes you big. What makes you big is what's inside. What makes you big is a spirit. And I'm telling you, brothers, I'm introducing you to this brother here. Because without this brother, we wouldn't be here today. And without this brother here, he is the father of the Nation of Islam in England. This brother here. This little brother here. That's the father. That's the one. That's the one. Don't you forget his name. His name is Minister Michael Muhammad. Praise be to Allah. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan met this brother and he took one look at him and he said, your name is Muhammad. Very deep. Minister Farrakhan don't do them things willy-nilly. But he saw something in our brother. And as a result of this brother's work in this country, we're here today. And make no mistake, brothers, We don't look down on him. We don't, boy, I should be the leader, you know. Let me tell you why I'm speaking to you today. I'm speaking to you today because he told me to. He gave me permission to. I'm a soldier in the nation of Islam. I follow orders. 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 That's what we need, black man. Brother Andrew X, the investigator, he looks into things of the past. I mean, brothers and sisters, you got to come and hear this, brother, you know. And you remember, brothers and sisters, Brother Hillary X has weekly meetings. We have weekly meetings. And there are other weekly meetings going on in North London and East London of the Nation of Islam. So we ain't got no excuse today to say, oh, I can't get out. You got to get out and find out what's going on. But brothers and sisters, this brother here, Brother Andrew X, one of the things that he teaches us is that the thing we learn from history is that as a people, we don't learn from history. I'm going to say that again. The thing that we learn from history is that as a people, we don't learn from history. When you go home tonight, turn on your TV, pick up a newspaper, look at a magazine, I guarantee you there'll be something in that magazine or on that TV about the suffering of the Jewish people. Guarantee you. Not a week will go by in your life that you won't hear something about the suffering of some people during the Second World War under Hitler, killing 6 million of them. When you question the Jews and ask them, why do you keep bringing this up? Why do you talk about it all the time? The Jewish people say wisely, because if we allow the world to forget, history will repeat itself. See? Now, the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, he said to black people, a people without knowledge of their history is like a tree without roots. And I'm saying to you, brothers and sisters, whenever you see a tree without roots, you're looking at a dead tree. So history is crucial to our understanding. You're going to go and buy a car, black man, you want to know the mileage, right? Unless you're crazy. You drive off in the car, you just paid your big money, you never check the mileage. The car has got 300,000 miles on it. And the engine is only recommended to do 150,000. So you're out of doors. You didn't check history. You go to the dentist, you got a problem. The dentist asks you, who was your former dentist? Have you had these symptoms before? Dentist, doctor, whoever. They must know the past. You get arrested by the policeman. He wants to, you've been in trouble before, mate. He's got to know what happened in the past in order to deal with you today. When you go to the court, you hear them, the white lawyers reading out your antecedents. In other words, your past history. Because history is best qualified to reward your research. So Brother Andrew X points out to us that we today are suffering from a collective amnesia. We have lost the knowledge of cause and effect. We don't understand that today, based on what you do today, will determine your tomorrow. Cause and effect. We've got to understand this is basic stuff. You can't do some mad crazy thing today and don't think it ain't going to be affecting you tomorrow or the future generations. That's why white people are so upset with the Nation of Islam. They're really, really upset. And even some of you are. Because some of you came out here tonight thinking, yeah, I'm going to listen to them racist boy along the road. See what am I saying? Because you've fallen into the foolishness. You believe the hype that we're racist. We ain't racist. The reason why they hate us so much is because they destroyed black people as a human reality. And they thought it was over. They thought they'd gotten away with it. But now we come now to remind them of history. And they don't want to be reminded of that history. But we have to remind them because we know if we don't, history will repeat itself. It's already begun in America and it's happening here right now. History is repeating itself. They've